And welcome to Tales from the Tips. If you're catching us on YouTube, make sure you give us a like and hit that subscribe button. And Mick is just going to blow us out of the water already. Let me try that again.
No, dude, keep going. Roll with it. Let's
No,
go.
no, no,
Come
no.
on. I just had a little cough. It's early in the morning here in Australia. Look, I'm ready. Got my Diet Coke. Let's go. Come on. Do it. Don't you dare rewind this.
Okay, well, we're not going to edit it then. Where was I? Oh, yeah. If you're catching us on YouTube, make sure you give us a like and hit that subscribe button. You can find Tales from the Tips where you find your favorite podcast: Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and of course on the Odyssey app. Just search Tales from the Tips. Subscribe, follow, whatever you need to do. Cough and enjoy. I'm DA, the coughing maniac that's still in Australia. It's 15-year tour caddy Mick Middlemo. And as we like to say, we're just a couple of guys that love the game of golf, both inside and outside the ropes. We come at it from a completely different perspective. It is great to see you, my friend. I'm looking forward to this one. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm coughing, but I'm all right. You look like you're wearing an LSU shirt.
I'm not. It is green and purple, not yellow and purple.
It looks yellow, but anyway.
How about we grip it and rip it?
Well, let's do it.
All right. So, this is episode 26, Mick. Can you believe
26.
that? 26.
26. That's a lot.
You have now recorded 12 episodes in Australia. That's all I get, huh?
That's all you get.
Just a thumbs up.
Just a thumbs up from down under.
So
that way.
As we record today, almost May, you have almost been there for 5 months, and you are still there.
4 months.
4 full months. You got there at the beginning of January. We are now starting our 5th month. I hope you're planning on coming back at some point. I'm beginning.
I'm coming back.
There's a bet going on. There's a bet going on.
Really? The point
yeah. Just people in the office that Porcello's in on this. They don't think you're coming back.
John Parler.
I'm not naming names. Nope.
Well, you just did. You said Porcello was in it, so that's naming names.
Well, there's one.
By the way, that's our great buddy from Twin Peaks.
That's our official partner from Twin Peaks.
I thought I might want to throw that in there.
Yes. Well, way to go. Way to get our sponsor in already right off the rip. I mean, like you're in mid-season form. I'm not in mid-season form, Mick. I'm beating the golf ball all around the place.
Yeah, I know. We had a little discussion before we came on air about how badly you were playing.
But see, I guess I should say I am in mid-season form because I went from playing really well Friday and Monday to playing like I've never picked up a set of clubs in my entire life today.
So you played Friday and Monday. Like, are you working at all?
No, I pretty much. I think I'm just a professional outing player at this point. I think Eric back in the office is wondering what I'm doing every day. It's been really good. We've had last Friday, Adam Murphy, who is on 11 Alive here in the Atlanta market. They put on a charity event called Miracle for Mom, and it is to benefit brain disease, typically your brain cancers. And so we, as a station, partnered up with them on Friday. We played Stone Mountain. You were supposed to be in it, Mick. You obviously couldn't make it. Yeah, you couldn't attend. We did
the station could have flown me back for that one.
Well, I would have flown you back for that. You told me you were staying there for a while.
This could have been a nice little round trip in a couple of days. Just
you wanted a round tripper. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then and we played a really nice course out at Stone Mountain. And then Monday, one of our really good clients that is on the radio station, the Right from the Heart Ministry, Bryant Wright, and Jonathan Munson. Yes, that is the grandson of the famous Munson from the University of Georgia broadcaster. So for those Georgia fans out there, and Mary Stevens are good friends over at Right from the Heart. They have an amazing Mick. We played Horseshoe Bend Golf and Country Club in Roswell, Georgia.
I hear it's nice.
It was gorgeous. The greens were immaculate. I couldn't find a ball mark if I tried.
And trust me, I know you look.
I looked very hard. That's the difference between Monday and today. We played Plinko out on the out on the putting greens.
Just for our listeners out there, my partner likes to get on the green. He doesn't spend too much time reading greens. He likes to walk around the greens and look for ball marks to fix, which is a noble thing to do. But maybe you should focus a little bit more on reading your putts, because after what you said to me today about how you couldn't hole anything, maybe instead of looking for every pitch mark on the green to play Good Samaritan, maybe, just maybe, you should look at reading putts. That's just me.
Let me be very clear here. I'm a very good putter. When I have skilled readers such as yourself and others to help, I can focus on areas of improvement on the golf course. You've got to remember, I grew up with a father that was a superintendent, so I pay attention to the agronomy side of the game of golf a little bit more. So
an agronomist.
Yes.
Okay.
So while I'm doing noble deeds, it drives me nuts because it's quite unfair to my fellow golfers when there's craters on the green and people aren't respectful to clean them up. And you're getting text messages or something. I keep watching this. Okay. We got a lot to catch up on.
Actually, one of my drunken golfing friends is probably trying to FaceTime me because he's had 1,000 drinks by now and he's trying to FaceTime me. Greg Elliott, my golfing partner, played golf today and he's trying to FaceTime me, which means he's hammered.
Oh boy. That's I don't know if that's a good thing or not. You should maybe we'll update everybody as this goes on and see if he sends you text messages and stuff to see how he's doing.
Well, he's already sent me one of those. But anyway,
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hit a home run for happy hour and ask your Twin Peaks girl about local specials on drafts, cocktails, shots, and more.
Okay. Well, we've got a lot to catch up on. Obviously, we've got to go back. The last time you and I got together, we were talking about the events that were coming up. The first one after the Masters was the RBC Heritage.
Okay. Just once again, I'm going to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
And I know another one. I know what you're going to say because another one of your love childs has come up and had a win. Look how smug you look right now. Because your first love child, Rory, won the Masters, and then your second love child, JT, has won the Heritage. And look at you. You're like beaming. You look like a proud parent, like beaming that one of your two love child has won a tournament. All right, move on.
Ian, I kind of knew you were going to try to do that to me. And if you go back and listen, Mick, to our podcast that we do, and you listen back in, I would say November, December, and January, one of us, this guy, was saying how impressed I was with the way Justin was striking the ball, the way he was playing. And, I don't know, did I predict him? Yes, to win the Players.
What? He didn't win the Players. He didn't win the Players.
But he didn't. But he's there. He got there.
He didn't win the Players.
He's getting there. And look at that. I missed him by a month.
No, I didn't.
I missed him by a month.
Of course he's going to win eventually. He's a world-class player.
Well, it was actually the thing that kind of surprised me, that was his first win since the PGA, which 3. I think it was a little over 3 years. So
Is Ricky Fowler going to win again?
no, not unless he goes back to my hometown and wins the Rocket Mortgage again.
He's going to win again.
Hey, I haven't seen Ricky playing a lot of golf.
That's my man crush. You know that.
I do know that, and you know how much I really like Ricky.
Me too. He's a very good friend.
He's a great guy. As a matter of fact, you have a great story that I don't think you've ever told it on this podcast. You've told it in the bar.
We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that one later. Okay. We can't, you keep doing that to me on a lot of these podcasts. I was counting. I went back and listened. We've got a couple stories we've got to go back to. So you see, Mick, I keep doing my research on you. And
but you send me a sheet and says, we're going to talk about this, going to talk about this, going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about this. Usually it's 6:00 in the morning because it's my time. And, sometimes it doesn't sink in. I don't focus very well at 6:00 in the morning, depending, because I've probably had 200 beers the night before. But
yes.
In my defense, I'm not trying to get us off track, but I will tell that Ricky Fowler story. It's a very good story.
It's a phenomenal story, and we will tell that story. There's got to be a point where we got to tell a Ricky Fowler story. But obviously, I do want to get your thoughts on the RBC Heritage. Justin finally getting back into the win category. And ironically, look at who was the runner-up, finishes first this past week at the Zurich.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's good form lines there.
What I was going to say, you have to let's start first though with the RBC. What did you? I mean, I know you watched quite a bit of it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite golf courses. I love that place.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and that's that's one of those that is on the list, the bucket list. You look at the player. Obviously Justin won in a playoff over Andrew Novak, but you had some pretty big names up there. Daniel Berger, Mackenzie Hughes. Mackenzie Hughes is playing some good golf on that side.
Golf right now.
Brian Harmon's playing some really good golf right now. Maverick McNeely. You and I are big on Maverick McNeely right now. I know it's a little too early to start talking Ryder Cup nonsense at this point. But Maverick McNeely is making a case to be on the Ryder Cup team for the U.S.
Yeah, and the President's Cup team and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well,
I have to mention the President's Cup team because Australia has the international team has a new captain.
You know what? We were going to touch on that. That announcement was made yesterday. Your guy is going to be the captain of the 2026 President's Cup. Do you want to share who that is to our audience?
That is the great man, St Kilda supporter, Jeff Ogilvy.
Jeff Ogilvy, yes. And yes. I have always been a big fan of Jeff Ogilvy. I
was just wondering whether my great mate Robert Allenby was going to be one of these vice captains. And I'm being sarcastic there because they hate each other.
I was wondering, are you going to be a part of the team somehow, some way?
Well, I'd like to shimmy my way in there somehow.
Well, speaking of, I just had a lot of fun at the Mitsubishi Classic presented by Venture here. That was an absolute blast. Being able to watch. I followed Stewart around quite a bit, and then being able to see Ernie and Jerry Kelly battle it out. That was a lot of fun.
That was a very good leaderboard. It really was.
I'm doing a little looking here.
But Jeff Ogilvy's a great guy. They're playing at Medina, which I've had the pleasure of actually playing, although they've revamped it now. And actually, Jeff Ogilvy was part of the people that his company was the redevelopment of Medina. So he knows that place very well.
I was going to say, and I think that was a very wise choice by the international team to put Jeff there. Brent Snedeker as the U.S. Captain. Both great guys. I think yes. Snedeker. It's sad because I didn't realize this. I was listening to actually one of the shows I really enjoy as I was driving in out to the course this morning. I didn't realize he had such a massive rib injury that caused him to basically hang it up. Now I know he hasn't officially hung him up, but um, I think looking what Snedeker has done over his career,
Good player for a very long time.
yeah,
Good player.
very
I've known him since
consistent.
he was playing on the web.com tour. Him and his caddy, Scott Vale, although Scott Vale now is Keegan Bradley's caddy. They were together for a long time, and he great guy. I've known him for a long time. Good fella.
So I know you and I we talked about this in our little bit of our show prep, and we're going to do another episode on what's going on out on the tour right now with your side of the bag, all the changes. Obviously, Justin wins the RBC with Joe Griner on his bag as Matt is still recovering. I think he handled it exactly the right way from that standpoint. We'll touch on some of the big changes. Obviously, Joe just recently parting ways with longtime, player Max Homa, and then obviously the news that just came out yesterday, jumping on the bag with now Collin Morikawa. Mick, we did an episode on this back in December.
Mm-hmm.
Those names were not on our list of players and caddies that we're going to separate. What do you make of what's going on right now with the changes?
I just think it's sometimes time. You've been on the bag for a long time, and I guess you get to a point where you think that maybe, just maybe, a change is going to help me. I mean, maybe there's some stuff down the stretch because Collin Morikawa, he's been up there but not winning. And I just think that maybe every now and again they're looking for that little edge, and they just like, hey, maybe I just got to try something different. Now it might not be permanent. It usually is. I've been in that situation. Where I stepped in and caddied for somebody because their caddy was out. He wasn't injured; he was having visa issues, and I stepped in to caddy. And after the first round at Congressional, we were leading by 3 shots. And after the tournament, we had a great tournament. He said to me, "Would you be interested in doing this full time?" So because I guess he was like, "Yeah, I mean, maybe sometimes a change is good sometimes." And you just get a different look. You get so used to seeing the same person on the bag, and all of a sudden there's a different perspective, and the player starts playing well. And it's just, it happens. I mean, it doesn't last. Nothing lasts forever. I mean, there's not many caddies that go through a whole career with one player.
Well, no, and that's, I mean, obviously you look even all the way back to Tiger started with Fluff, and then obviously, and then he had Stevie on his bag for the the amazing run that he made. So, I mean, things happen. These guys are changing swing coaches and putting coaches and everything else. It's surprising that all of a sudden, right as we're in the middle and the heart of the season, these big changes. I mean, these are big names. This isn't some of the smaller stuff. Some of the guys a little bit lower on the money list that are struggling, that are more worried about getting back to their, getting their card. I mean, we're talking about Max Homa, Collin Morikawa, and obviously Justin was in a position where he needed a caddy going into the Masters, and Joe was available, and and I think they played, they did really well. I think, Justin probably would like a round back at the Masters. But then you turn around the very next week and you go out and you win the RBC, which is a signature event. It wasn't like it was, a half field. But the names that are just getting thrown around, my biggest surprise was the Collin Morikawa. Because JJ's been on his bag since he turned pro.
Yeah, he's the only professional caddy he's ever had.
So let me ask you this: where do you think JJ's going to land?
There'll be a good bag out there somewhere. There's someone who's just, and that he knows all those players. You mean he knows all the top players? There's going to be a top player somewhere who's like, I could probably use maybe a little bit of a change. So all depends. It's who knows. I mean, it's the nature of the business that I was in for a long time, and the changes get made, and you talk to other players, and sometimes you do a lot of talking. Hopefully, then they'll offer you a job and all that sort of stuff. And There's a lot of caddies who will try to cut your grass to try to get a job. That's for certain.
Yeah, and so while we're on this, because this is kind of the way I wanted to lead into this. I want to talk about, because at the same time there was a full field event going on down in the Dominican Republic with the Corrales Punta Cana Championship. Um, and I think everybody has fallen in love with Joel Damon, and Gino, his caddy, because of Full Swing a couple seasons ago. Joel Damon was in complete control of that golf tournament,
Until the
and
last 6 holes.
then the wheels came off. Mick,
Mm-hmm.
we've talked about this. I'm trying to put the words together that I can, because I think I was disappointed to see him go bogey, bogey, bogey to finish, and then lose obviously in the playoff to Garrick Higo. Higo, by the way, that's the second time Higo's been like trailing by 3 with a few holes left and turned around and gotten handed a victory. So he's putting himself
You just got to hang around. You never know what's going to happen. You just got to hang around.
I think that's it. Okay, I'm putting you in Gino's shoes with Joel.
Oof.
How do you recover from that?
You basically have to learn from it. I mean, Jack Nicklaus came second how many times? And it's just you would give it an hour after the round. He's obviously going to be disappointed. He's going to do some interviews and stuff like that. But then I would try to find some quiet time where I'll just say, hey, listen, where'd we screw it up? What could we have done better? You finished second. You probably would have taken that at the start of the week. Yeah, it's a disappointing result, but we have to go forward from here. We have to try to take momentum out of where we are. If I'd have said to you at the start of the week, second was good, you probably would have taken that. But we have to try to, when we get ourselves in that position again, this is what we have to do next time. And it's just...
Yeah, and I think the thing where I look at it, he finished 13 under. After round 1, he was 10 under.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just a final round collapse. Where did they go wrong throughout, 36, 54, and 72? Because...
Well, that's the thing. You can look at the last 6 holes, but was it lost in the last 6 holes?
No,
Was
so
it
the
lost
wheels
in the
were
second
already
round?
off
Was
by
it
that
lost?
point.
Was it lost in the second round or the third round and all that sort of stuff? There's a lot of moving parts, and you would sit there and basically go, hey, listen, let's dissect the week. What we could have done better. Where did we make mistakes? Did we make a mistake on this hole with this club? Just there's a lot of, and then say, we get ourselves in this position again, and that's what you learn from. Like next time you're up in that position, you're like, hey, remember the last time we didn't do well here? This time, this is our chance now, and we're not going to make the same mistakes. Did we play too defensive? Did we not go at the flags enough? Did we put it in cruise control? Did we put it on? Did we go to the prevent defense and just think we're going to hang on and stuff like that? Or should we have attacked the golf course more than what we did? So there's you would, and even as a caddy, you go back to your hotel room, you put your head down, you're like, all right, what could we have done different today? What should we have done? What could I have done better to help my guy out? And this is why changes get made sometimes. I mean, this is why players sit there and go, well, maybe my caddy's not helping me out down the stretch. It's nice when everything's going great, but how do you get a player out when he's digging himself into a hole? What do you say to that guy? And to try to help him get out of that mindset. I mean, golf is it's an incredible mind game, as we all know. So it's very, very hard, and you got to have a guy that trusts you and is going to listen to you.
Well, and I think that's kind of where I wanted, and you kind of answered a question that I was going to actually ask you, is what from a caddy perspective are you asking yourself after that, and how much are you holding yourself accountable for it versus, obviously you're not swinging the club, you're not, somebody has to execute the game plan, and clearly Joel did not execute the game plan. But it's kind of like you're the coach, where I literally just looked at it and I was just like, man, I thought he would have,
Yeah, I mean, we just did. You got to sit down and have that conversation and go, where did we go wrong as a team? And did we do anything wrong? As I said, did we not attack more and things like that? I mean, I've had one screaming match with a player in a parking lot in Miami, during a rain. There was a rain delay, and I'm not going to mention the player's name, but we were in a rain delay. It was web.com. And the player was more upset with the rain delay because it was going to affect his travel plans home. What time he was going to get home. And I think we're in 8th place at the time. We probably weren't going to win the tournament, but we're in for a really nice payday, and had a chance in the last 4 holes if we really maybe finished 3rd or 4th. And he was just moping around like, this is going to miss my trip and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, well, at least you get to go home because he could drive home. This is going to ruin my plans too because now I have to, I'm going to have to change my flight and do other things. It's going to cost me a lot of money. So. But I'm not complaining about it. I'm like, hey, let's go out and we finish strong, and if we birdie some of these holes on the way, we're going to have a really good finish. And he came out and bogeyed all 4 holes.
Oh, jeez.
Didn't warm up on the range. Just said, let's go, let's do this, and was basically in a hurry to get off the golf course. And it was the most pointed conversation I've ever had with a player. It was a screaming match in the parking lot. Like all the players, caddies, everything listening. It was a screaming match with me basically pointing him in the chest saying, that was the most weak-hearted performance I think I've ever seen a player. And if you're going to do it, there's no reason to bring me along and stuff. Yeah, it was a very pointed conversation. And sometimes you have to have that. And he took it. He took it well. Obviously that day he didn't, but the next day, when he called me, he's like, yeah, you were right. I was like, I know.
Yeah. Well,
So
but sometimes you have to be firm and you have to manage, and you're managing the player at that point.
Yeah, you just can't go around rubbing them on the back and say everything's going to be fine because it's not. And some players sometimes want that. There are some players who probably want that and want to be cuddled and held and say everything's going to be okay. But there are some players who don't want that. They want some strength on the bag, and and maybe that's where the changes are. Maybe they've been friends for too long, and it's been coming a little too close, and changes get made. And I honestly think sometimes it's better to make that change halfway through a season than at the end of the season. Because if you're just going to hang on and say, well, I'll just hang on to the end of the year, you're not going to play good golf. You're not going to be comfortable with who's on the bag with you and stuff like that. You might as well nip it in the bud. There's 3 majors left.
So, and I think you just said it the best. Sometimes even in what I do and what you do now off the golf course, there's times where you have relationships. We've talked about one of our guys. John is one of my guys. And there's days where we've had to have some pretty serious conversations, and but that's the job of a manager. That's the job, of somebody, a coach, whether it's a swing coach. I think Max Homa is a great example of where I think he became very comfortable with the people around him. And I don't think the people around him pushed him and held him accountable enough.
Fact.
And that happens. There are times that happens. So, obviously, then we go to your favorite place, the Zurich, and Novak gets it done with his buddy, long time.
You didn't mention your other 2 love childs.
We can.
You did send me a text message with a picture of the leaderboard that one of your 2 love childs was racing up the leaderboard.
I did not. That's not true.
Oh, I will send evidence through to everybody. I'll put that on there today.
I may have sent. Hang on, let me look at my text messages. Hold on.
You couldn't lie straight in bed. Have a look at it. You sent and just.
I think you're right. Probably, by the way.
I know I am.
No. I sent you. Our boy Michael's climb in the 4-ball. We got to get back. We're gonna have to take a look at the 4-ball. By the way, they fell apart on Sunday. I got to fill you in on that one. After he shot 66 on Saturday, he imploded on Sunday. So, no, Andrew Novak and Ben Griffin, obviously champions at the Zurich. Nikolai and Rasmus Højgaard.
Very good pronunciation of the Højgaard. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Obviously spent a little time practicing that one in the mirror.
I just listen to a lot of golf talk. I pick up things. No, Shane and Rory finished T12.
I've never actually caddied in the team event there. I only caddied when it was an individual event.
So I was okay. See, this is where it scares me how well you know me and what I was going to ask you. Did you ever caddy in that? So that the answer is no. How much fun would that event be? Caddying
Awesome.
in a team event.
It would be amazing. It's just something different. I mean, it'd just be a lot of fun. I think there should be more of it.
Well, and I think and there was a lot made during the broadcast about this being a perfect time for Rory to come back after the Masters, and there's reports that Shane had texted him a couple of days after the Masters and said, "Hey, listen, basically giving him an out, saying, hey, I understand you're going to be really busy over the next week and a half if you want to bail on this," and he's like. I guess Rory texted right back and said, "No, I'm in, and I got to get back on it. We got to go defend." And I think that's just the character of the guys that are there. But I really appreciated the fact that they went back to defend because they are the two biggest names out there for the Zurich.
And what better place to go and have a couple of beers after the round is New Orleans.
Yeah, I think I'm sure they had a few. No, our buddy JT Poston and Keith Mitchell finished at T18 right behind at -21. So, no, I thought the Zurich was good. I always enjoy it. Weather can always play a factor on what's going on out there, and so interesting to see.
Actually, I had a memory come up on my Facebook this week. It's something that you don't do. I don't think you're not a Facebooker, are you?
No, I don't do Facebook.
Yeah, I do. So it came up on my feed of basically standing there because the first 2 days we were there, Thursday, Friday, it just did nothing but torrential rain. It was torrential rain just for 2 days. And of course, we were like second group off, so we have to go out there every morning, and you sit there all day. There's nothing worse. Now, when you have an afternoon tea time, that's beautiful because you can stay in bed for 2 days. It's not a big thing. But when you're like second off in the morning, you get up like it's going to be a regular tournament, and then you just sit out the front of the clubhouse and watch it rain for 9 hours before they go, okay, no golf today. And then you go back home, and then you do the same thing. So it came up on my feed. It's just I'm standing there with Jason Day and Stuart Appleby, and Jason Day is he looks mortified. He's just standing there staring at this. I mean, it's just bucketing down. It's like torrential, and he's just staring at it like, yeah, shaking his head like, nah, this is not going to happen. So, yeah, it was...
he wants to get in the courtesy car and head back to the hotel.
Oh, yeah, same thing. Yeah, he's like, can we just go home? Can we just call this off now? And, yeah, but I do have that video somewhere. I'll have to ship it off to you.
Well, yes. Yeah, I'd love to see that one. Okay, so let's move ahead. This week, the boys are in McKinney, Texas for the CJ Cup Byron Nelson. One of the
good golf course. I've played that course.
That was one of my questions. Have you ever been out there and
only played it, never caddied there.
Never caddied there. You played it.
Mm-hmm. I just missed the old Byron Nelson there in Dallas. It used to be a good tournament at that golf course.
Where was it at again in Dallas?
I can't remember. The one in Dallas used to be two courses. I used to play Cottonwood, which is across the street, and I can't remember the other one offhand now. What was it? I can't remember. That's a lot of beers ago. Quick, Google it.
I'm working on that right now. You keep telling stories about McKinney, Texas. The bar in Nelson was fantastic. It was a great event. They had a great bar across the street. I know everything goes back to bars, but there was a great bar across the street. That was walking distance, and every caddy would be there after the rounds and stuff like that. But there used to be two courses. They used to play the one across the street and the one the main course. And the one across the street was a good golf course. You're thinking of the Four Seasons in Irving.
That's the one.
The TPC course and the Cottonwood Valley course.
Yeah, which is across the street. But then the last time they used the Cottonwood across the street, I was caddying for Trip Eisenhower, and we were the last group to finish. So we were the last people to ever walk off that golf course as a tournament golf course.
And TPC
useful information for you.
Yeah, because they're back at Craig Ranch.
They're back at Craig Ranch now.
Yep, we just saw that.
I have caddied at Craig Ranch. They had the Tour Championship there for the nationwide event, and I think I caddied for Bradley Hughes.
Oh, nice. All right. Okay. Then, and now this is an interesting one because it's technically new. It is the Truist Championship. Truist now the new title partner, which will be played next year back at Quail Hollow. But they are playing the Philadelphia Cricket Club up in
Why did you say it like that?
because I felt like I had to. I just
Cricket's a great sport, my friend.
I didn't say it wasn't a great sport.
But you made it sound all bougie in English.
It does sound bougie, and it is bougie.
It is not a bougie sport.
Oh, come on. You got to be kidding me.
Cricket's a great sport.
It's right there with polo.
Oh, I'm going to end this one now soon.
Okay, so we're going to have a really good field as the guys are getting ready for the following week, which is the PGA at Quail. Yeah, we've got...
Rory's going to win again.
So you got Rory winning the Truist or at the Cricket Club, or do you think he's going to win? You're trying to change your pick from December because I think you have.
He's going to win again.
I like his odds.
It'd be interesting if Collin Morikawa got up and won.
Well, okay, so full circle back to the caddy with Joe Griner. I mean, Joe just had a win. Had a tee. What did Justin? I'd have to go back and look to see where Justin finished in the Masters. He's had a two solid weeks before obviously having this past week off. He wasn't down at Zurich. What do you think of Collin's odds now?
Good. A lot of players play really well and they get a brand new caddy on the bag. It's just a different set of eyes, and I'd say very good.
Okay. So is there a bar in Philadelphia that you can even think of that this one's going to be one of those where we're just going to put Mick's favorite bar is Gustin's.
Stay at home.
Yes.
Yeah, stay at home.
Gustin's in
go get a Philly
Georgia.
cheesesteak. Go get a Philly cheesesteak from somewhere and then go back to your room.
There you go. We really killed 2 episodes with one stone today, my friend.
That means you can go back to. Are you drinking? What are you drinking? You're not drinking coffee there, are you?
No, I've got some water from today. It's 8:00. I had a few cocktails out on the course today. It was the Hispanic Chamber golf outing. Mick,
any tequila involved?
Yes, there was some of that involved. Yes, made me think of somebody that used to, be here, but he's halfway across the world.
Yes. First place too, by the way.
I saw that. That team up in Detroit is also in first place.
Yeah, the Cubbies are playing good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our Bravos dropped today against my old team, the Rockies. So they're 2 games under 500 with the Dodgers coming into town here. So
yeah, but Cubs own the Dodgers.
Yeah, they played really well against them. Dodgers do not look like the same $500 million club away from the Ravine there in LA.
No, they do not. They do not. But anyway, plenty of time to talk baseball. Only 140 games to go.
I was going to say we've got to dive into some hockey playoffs next time we're on the podcast.
The Avalanche are gone. They're finished.
Okay, well, hey, we'll see. It's better than where the Blackhawks are. Yeah, I did it. Next time we're going to be talking a little PGA Championship, Mick. Hopefully you are back. We'll see. I keep saying that to the listeners. Mick should be back. Mick may be back. Who knows?
He's coming. Don't let those other people. If they're betting on it under and over, just let me know. I can make some money out of this.
I was gonna say we go in. We'll go in halvesies and make some money on it.
Does Parla not think I'm coming back?
No one believes that you're coming back.
Oh, really? Maybe
Not even executive producer Kim.
Maybe I should just walk into the studio one day and like say hello to everybody.
Well, you got a surprise when you get back. We have a new studio, Mick. Kim went on a spending spree.
What, she spent $100 on us?
No, wait till you see this. Actually, you know what, Mick? I will do this for you. Check out our interview or my interview with Stuart Sink from our brand new podcast studio. You know, we get a sponsor, Mick, and all of a sudden Kim goes and spends, like a drunken sailor, so we got a whole new studio.
I did see the Stuart Sink one. Yes, very nice.
Yeah, that's our new digs. So you're gonna have to find a nice, comfy place on that couch because
I will.
We'll be rocking and rolling. So, well,
all right,
let's do it. Thanks for teeing up with us on Tales from the Tips. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, X, TikTok, for all of our latest content, shorts, posts. You never know what we're going to put up there. Mick joining local radio stations. But make sure you give us a like, subscribe, and we hope your drives are straight, much straighter than mine were today. Your putts are short and not as bumpy as mine. And your scores are low as we tee it up on Tales from the Tips. We'll see you next time.